Hi everyone, I'm Steph and I'm currently traveling around Tasmania in my 2006 Toyota Prado with my dog Phoebe. She's a Doberman and she's nearly 2 years old. Um, and today we just thought we'd just talk about whether or not it's worth bringing your dog to Tasmania, and is it feasible to do van life, whether it be with a caravan, a motorhome, a camper van, or like what I'm doing, sort of what they call car camping, I guess, with a dog. So let's find out. So I just want to quickly put a little disclaimer out there. This is just my opinion. It is based on my travels and the way I have traveled. I think everyone's different, every circumstance is different, every pet, every family, every owner, and every way of travel is different. Nobody does everything the same. It would be a very boring world if we did. But this is just from my point of view and how I feel about traveling with a dog, and what I feel they can bring or hinder to your travels. So, should you bring your dog to Tasmania? If you haven't already seen, I've already done a video on how to bring your dog to Tasmania, especially an anxious dog. It's always a worry, is it really worth going through all of that stress to get your dog here, and, what's it going to be like? Is it really worth it? So, Phoebe and I have been traveling within Tasmania for just about 7 weeks now, almost. So quite a long time. We've been really lucky to have this time off. And we've had a real good go at Tasmania. We've been down along the northwest, down the west, up the middle, twice, I think. And now we've come up to the northeast. We've done along the north top, and we're now just about to start making our way down the east coast. And then, sadly, next week and the next week, up through the middle quickly, to catch our ferry back to Geelong. So, the 7 weeks in Tasmania with Phoebe, has it been worth it? Yes, it has. Bringing Phoebe to Tasmania has been the best thing ever. I've had a great time. I think she's had a great time. We've learned a lot about each other. She's still young. She's not even 2 yet. So we're still working on a lot of training and things like that. And new experiences as well has been amazing. I think she's at a really good age to experience a lot of different things. Things like different types of wildlife that we don't get back home in Darwin. Children, we don't really hang around children at home, except for my little nephew. So she's not really been around sort of older, like 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds before. Bicycles has been a big thing. Doesn't like bicycles, we find out, because we've never really been around them. So that was something new we found out. But in terms of taking Phoebe everywhere, do you know what? I think it's very similar to traveling with children. You've kind of got to tailor your trip around them a little bit. You can't be selfish when you're traveling with an animal, or I imagine with children. You've got to kind of plan your day and your week around their needs as well as your own. So it's just be aware of that. If you're unwilling to do that, then it's not the best thing for you to bring your dog. But if you can sort of be flexible in how you travel and where you go, you will have a great time, trust me. Yes, Phoebe and I have missed out on going into a lot of the national parks. A lot of Tasmania has national parks, but if I've been able to fill 7 weeks with activities and places and fun, then I don't think we really miss the national parks. There's a couple that would have been really nice to see, but do you know what? There's so much else to see in Tasmania. Parks and wildlife, state reserves are going to be your best friend in terms of camping, but also being able to take your dog on long walks and hikes. And the little towns are really friendly with dogs as well. I can't even tell you how many towns I've been in where a small business owners come out and given Phoebe a treat. In one case, in a really beautiful spot in Richmond, we were actually invited into this tiny little shop that sold like glass ornaments and jewelry, and there's glass cases everywhere. And I had nightmares that Phoebe was gonna like knock out thousands of dollars worth of equipment there, but she didn't, thankfully. So do you know what? Yes, there's lots of places that are not dog friendly, and you know what? That's fine. I didn't come to Tasmania to do big bucket list items that cost a lot of money in terms of experiences. I came to see Tasmania and just sort of travel around and just really get to know the place. So having her kind of has an enforced savings aspect where you're not going to be going out for expensive dinners or on expensive experiences or, you know, staying in the most luxury hotels or cabins or things like that. So, in a way, it kind of saves me money having her because I won't be doing those items, which I might be tempted to do on my own. But actually they're not the kind of travel I want to do anyway, so I haven't missed out on that. So if you're really into national parks or going on experiences where you have to leave your dog behind, whilst Tasmania is a cooler climate, it has been quite hot here recently, quite unexpectedly. I didn't think it would get as hot, but the sun is really strong. You cannot leave your dog in the car on a sunny day. So you do have to plan around that. So you just kind of have to have a think about how you want to see Tasmania and whether or not you've got that flexibility with carrying a dog along with you. I think it's definitely worth bringing your dog, especially if you're solo as well. It's nice to have the company and the structure to your day. You know, Phoebe has to be walked, she has to be fed, she needs water. So it is nice to kind of have that structure to your day when you're traveling as well, because you can kind of lose days and times and hours and that can kind of get a bit funny after a while. So it is nice to have some structure in your day. With Tasmania, we've been loads of places that Phoebe's been able to go. She's been on beaches, she's been at waterfalls, she's been in cities, she's been loads of places. So I can show you some places now, if you like, of where Phoebe's been. So can you do van life or your version of van life with a dog? I think you can. I am pretty certain that you can. If you can get through your life with a dog at home, then you just need to bring those same principles on the road with you. Yes, you don't have a yard you can't leave your dog in. So you do have to think about the aspect of what you're going to do with your dog when you want to go do things. But there are other options, things like doggy daycare, for instance, or dog minders. So if there is something you want to do on your trip specifically, just plan ahead like you would if you had children. And sort out something that will work for them as well. Otherwise, there's nothing to stop you. In fact, traveling with a dog I think is really good, especially if you're a solo traveler. It gives you a purpose to your day, it gives you structure to your day, and it makes you stop. And traveling through the middle of Australia in 8 days, covering 4,000 kilometers, I needed my dog. Otherwise, I could have just drove and drove and drove every day. But because of Phoebe, I had to stop regularly, make sure she had water, make sure she had enough food, make sure she could go to the bathroom, and just have a bit of a rest from being in the car all day. It was quite hot. We didn't go at the best time of year to do it, so we were pretty quick on our breaks. But it did make me stop and have a snack and have a drink and refresh myself as well. Instead of just pushing, oh, I'll go another hour, I'll go another hour, I'll go another half hour. It kind of makes you think, okay, I just need to cool it for a minute and just have a break. And you know what? That's been invaluable. I probably wouldn't survive the trip through the middle without her. In terms of places to stay, yes, national parks are out again, but Parks and Wildlife are amazing. A big shout out to them. They're so dog friendly. As long as your dog's in a lead, you're fine. It's the same with caravan parks. Just be sensible. You don't know, what other dogs are like, so you want to keep your dog tethered up so they don't bother other dogs. But also, it's just so you know where they are. They're not harming wildlife. They're not fouling places that they shouldn't be. And they're just within reach. You don't know what's going to happen to your dog if you leave them off a lead. You know, anything to do with children, people, animals, other dogs. It's just not worth it. Just keep your dog on a lead all the time and follow the rules, and we can continue to travel around Australia with our dogs. Traveling with a dog also means you have that companionship, and I think that is really important. Just like living your normal day-to-day life with a dog is really rewarding, I think traveling with a dog is really rewarding. And loads of people love to meet dogs on the road. Unfortunately, a lot of people do, for whatever reason, have to leave their dogs behind. So they are always really happy to see your dog when you rock up to a campsite or to a experience. So yeah, I think bringing Phoebe to Tasmania was so worth it. For both of our sakes, but also I think it is possible to travel around Australia with a dog. Like I said before, I haven't done a lot of it. I've only been through the middle. But we do still have the 2 to 3 weeks to get back to Darwin once we get off the boat in Geelong, and I'll be able to tell you a bit more about that. But for I hope this video was really helpful. Traveling with your dog is amazing, and I encourage everyone who can to do so, because it is a really rewarding experience and I wouldn't have changed any of it. If you've got any questions about anything, please pop it in the comments below. If you would like to watch my video about traveling with an anxious dog on the Spirit of Tasmania, it's on my page, on my channel. And I'm also on Instagram as well, if you'd like to follow our travels there. We're a bit more ahead there. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and take care. Bye.